another reason why I don't like the 20th century or the general culture of it. Families were separated. Now, what do I mean by that? Because people are going to hear families were separated and go, "Oh, wait, but wasn't everybody having dinner together every night? Wasn't that a thing?" Yeah, but that's like the only time they interacted. And when everybody was out the door in the morning, his dad's spending all day at work. He's working 8-10 hours a day, which fortunately it's not more than that like it was during the Industrial Revolution, but we're gonna get to that as well. He's working probably in either an office or a factory. If he's living in the suburbs, it's probably an office of some kind, because those are the only people that can actually afford a house in the suburbs. So he probably goes to work, he works at the office, and then he comes home at the end of the day. So dad's spending all day at the office. Kids are spending all day either at school or they've just been sort of kicked out of the house and told to go and play and do stuff. So they're riding their bikes around, throwing rocks at birds, sort of getting into minimal trouble. Which there are some things that I don't really have an issue with there, but because a child needs to get into trouble to know what trouble actually is. But again, we'll talk about that later. And mom is spending all day pretty much by herself alone in a house. In an average size house for today. Like a house probably a little bit bigger than mine, and mine is over 1,800 square feet. It kind of creates, it's the creation of the housewife idea as well. Maybe not creation, because I think that was probably 20s or 30s where that term starts to get thrown around, but the 50s really perpetuates it and solidifies it. It's like, oh, the housewife. So what does this do? So because dad's at work all day, he is completely drained when he comes home and doesn't have really any time for anybody, for his wife or his kids. On top of that, usually he's getting home at like, I don't know, this is like the ideal of, oh, dad works 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Well, your office isn't exactly next door, so you're probably driving, and a vehicle's top speed was way lower than it was nowadays, so you're probably driving an hour to get to work every day, and an hour to come home. You're probably getting home about 6 p.m. So, family all gets together for family dinner, and that's supposed to be an image of perfection, is the family in the 1950s having dinner around the table all together. And there's mom and dad and only 2 kids, which, again, I'm going to get to because that pisses me off. Or maybe 3. But
well, just like you're saying, it splits families up. The dad is moved there.
You don't have to be. It's not like they're ripped apart permanently. You don't have to do that to split up a family. The family is not together for like 10 hours every day. There's only 24 in a day, and ideally you spend 8 of them sleeping.
Yeah, so you have your little powwow at the end, and your dad's probably got his own hobbies too, and your mom's got her things with friends too, so that cuts into it.
Yeah, so you got 10 hours that you're apart. You got the other 14 that you're supposed to be maybe spending together, but 8 of those you're sleeping, maybe more, because younger people need more sleep. Kids need more sleep. So that's 6 hours every day, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
That you're able to spend in your house not sleeping, and how much of that is actually spent with your children. How much of that is the family actually together? That may seem like quite a bit, but it's really not.
There's a really good song that describes this. Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin. And
that's from the 80s, but yeah.
Well, it still reflects this. It starts with, because I have this pulled up. My child just arrived the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was away. And at the beginning, this kid is saying, I'm going to be like you, Dad. I'm going to be like you. And then when he's 10, he learns from a similar thing. Like he wants to go play with he got a ball from his dad, wants to go play with his dad with the ball. Um, his dad says no because he's got the same type of stuff to do. And the kid walks away, but his grin doesn't go away. And he says, I will be like him.
Mm-hmm.
I will be like him. And that's not admiration. And then the end of the song is the culmination of that, where the dad now wants to spend time with his son, and his son is the one who's too busy, and it just perpetuates this cycle.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes sense why this would have come about. And I know we don't want to delve too deep into causes, but just structurally, we moved from small communities, small towns, to large communities, to large cities, part of the Industrial Revolution. And then we decided, well, I don't want to live in the city, but I don't want to go back to living the way I was before. I've got this job, I've got these friends. So why don't we all go put our houses off to the side somewhere in our own little group in this community as described, and we'll just have a nice time together, you know. But we're not fully our own community. We're not our own community. Like, we're still going to have some traditions that pop up, but fundamentally we exist in a sense to serve the big city, or to do the thing that is done in the big city. And that isn't reminiscent of a community to me fully. It's partially reminiscent of what the colonies were, what the American colonies were to England.
Yeah,
Like, we
the
existed to
colonies
serve England.
exist. That's a good point. The suburb is a colony of the city.
It basically is.
The suburb
Right?
is the city colonizing the country. That's
Yeah. And if you want to say I'm not fully right about that, like, fine, I don't care. The point is that the elements are there.
you're not entirely wrong. And for those that think there's nothing wrong with colonization, which there ultimately isn't. This is more for those who think that the word colonize is a dirty word.
Hmm.
Um, but that's effectively what it does. So basically, it's you wanted your 160 acres of land that you're caring for, that you're the farmer that you take care of, or you're maybe it was a lot more modest in early 20th century, like your 20, 30 acres. You want to do that, but you kind of have to live in the city because that's where your job is now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
oh well, how about this? Why don't we give you an acre or a half acre or three quarters or
If we're
one quarter
generous, if we're really
if you're
generous.
generous, one quarter. I think my house takes up like three quarters of the actual acreage of of my property. Um, we're going to give you that, and then we're going to say, "Oh, be happy with this." It's just like you out in the country, and basically, the suburbs are designed by people who live in the city to try to appeal to people who live in the country and make the country people feel like they're living the city life without actually living it.
And what does it do? It splits the direction of the family, because
Yeah.
the dad has to keep his attention to the city
Mm-hmm.
because he's
The
got a
dad
job
has
to
to
do.
go into town every day. The kids have to go into school, which the school may not have been all that far away. A lot of suburbs have schools,
Mm-hmm.
but the school may not have been far away, but they're still spending 8 hours a day there.
Mm-hmm.
And then mom is just stuck at home by herself all the time,
Yeah.
doing, who knows what.
So when you say that that isn't the nuclear family, that's because that's not the nuclear family as you defined it. And what's sad is this is not what we think of when we think of traditional families. We think of
Yeah.
the dad being the only one
Everybody's
that
around
works.
the table.
Yeah, the dad is the only one that works. The mom stays at home and raises the kids. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying that's a terrible system in and of itself, because it can be done fine. But when everybody's doing it, and when everybody's attention is split in these ways, something is lost.
Well, and when it becomes this puritanical, this is how it is in every single possible case, and this is how it always should be, and anything else, literally anything else, is wrong and weird and abnormal. I am the man, so I have to go out and work every day. You are the woman, so you have to stay home and take care of the children and raise the children pretty much all by yourself, which we're going to get to that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
And then you, as the children, you should be seen and not heard. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
You are here to be raised by your mother, and then you'll just suddenly pop into normal human beings someday and well-adjusted people.